MacCulloch. I'm 69. I've lived in Tairua for 51 years. I came here in 1973 to go surfing and ended up getting a building apprenticeship. It was just a surf trip. There was two of us that came, me and Willie Webster. Well, Willie Webster and I should say. And he got a job with, there was probably only two builders here at that stage. It might have been three, Rex McCormick, Breen Plender, who I got an apprenticeship with, and Bob Turner. So we both did our apprenticeships. When I did my apprenticeship, I didn't think I'd be here for 50 years, you know. Put a lot of effort into my building. So the building apprenticeship was with a chap who'd already been in Tairua for 30 years. Knew a lot about everything about building. Because there was no subbies around, we had to learn to do a lot of the stuff ourselves, which was great for me because it gave me a real depth into building. Phil Mason was his apprentice before I got there. He basically left when I started. So I ended up having a gang of guys, and most of them were surfers. And we surfed after work, sometimes before work, and sometimes at lunchtimes. Okay, so going back to the beginning when I first came, I think there was 600 people living in Tairua, and we pretty much got to know everyone. It was more of a community. Well, I started surfing at Waihi Beach in the late 60s with my twin brother. My dad bought us a board. It was a long board. I've got it down in the shed down here. And it was our school holidays. We went there. I sort of started probably about 10 or 11 maybe. For a fellow called Butch Mayer, who were quite a big family in Waihi. They had Waihi Beach. They had the Beach Motors, I think it was called. They had a family-owned business, Beach Motors, which is still there today. Left school. We went to Mount Albert Grammar School. Didn't surf there. We went to boarding school. Then I went to Tairua College for a year. I wanted to be a builder, but there was no apprenticeships going, so I became a plastic engineer. I lasted a year and then came to Tairua and ended up living here. And it's paradise. So Waihi Beach has a connection for me. I joined the Waihi Beach Boardriders Club after my twin brother was killed tragically in the gorge. So I am a part of, because he belonged to the Waihi Beach Boardriders, so I'm a part of their club, and I go to 5 competitions a year. I enter in the over 55s, and this year I have won 4 comps, so I'm going to get the prize at the end of the year.
Well done.
Yeah, so I'm quite pleased about that. But yeah, I started competing. We always had our own club competitions in Tairua, and the Tairua Boardriders Club was formed probably about 1979. We had a few comps here, but lately I still kind of am the president of the Boardriders Club. But there was a group of young guys that were operating it. Me and Willie decided we'd join. The Purdon boys were involved, Matt and Andrew Purdon. So we joined the surf club back then, and then one night the surf was really good. They wanted us to practice, but we wanted to go surfing. And that's when it sort of... And the years later, we took over the club, basically, and ran the club. We had 13 of us got our bronze medallions, and then we were taken over by other people that used to come here from Auckland. So we got ourselves a section down the other end of the beach. So we moved basically down there. There was no house on it, it was just a big section. So we paid Mr. Mason, I think it was $1,000 a year to have it, which was pretty good. So we put a toilet on there, and we used to meet down there and go surfing at the south end. That was our favourite spot.
What year's that, Barry?
That would have been 90s, early 90s. So the 80s were sort of, the 70s were, we weren't really involved with the club that much. The club wasn't really happening a heck of a lot, the surf club. 70s, so we just sort of went surfing. And then 80s, we got involved with the surf club, and we bought the clubhouse from around Pippi.
Ah.
And we had it, we moved to where the site is today. And I built a big deck on the front of it with proceeds from a guy, the American guy that I was building their house for in Tairua Valley. He said, "Oh, look, you guys need a deck. I'll fund it." And so he funded the deck, which was pretty good. And it was us local guys that just built it. And we used to run our surf comps from there and do the patrols as well. So we were sort of a multi-club at that stage.
You were working still at the same time. So still surfing before work?
Trying to, as best.
Lunchtime?
Yeah.
After work?
Yeah. And then the weekends. And if the surf was really good, I'd take the day off, but it had to be really good.
And was Tairua special in that way, or was this happening up and down the coast?
This was pretty much general throughout New Zealand.
Yeah.
Especially the east coast. A lot of tradies came to the east coast so they could work and surf. A lot of builders were surfers, it seemed. Yeah.
What was the height of the numbers for that sort of thing, Barry?
Well, when I first came, there was one other guy that lived here that surfed, Peter Homan. His family had been here for generations. His father was a gold miner. He surfed, and then me and Willie got here and we started surfing, and then the other crew started. Other guys that could see what we were doing decided, oh, this looks quite good, let's surf too. So we had probably about 5 of us that surfed. 3 of us lived here, and the Brights used to come over from Thames to go surfing. Then they moved here, yeah, and then slowly the numbers just increased, and I reckon there'd probably be 150 people that surf here now. So it started off with 1, and now everyone seems to want to go surfing. All the families get involved, but there was a period of time when my 2 boys started surfing, and all their mates that they went to Thames High with, they all started surfing as well. So there was a really big group of guys that were young guys coming through, you know. But really, for my age now, there's not that many left that are still surfing, you know, and still competing, you know, especially the competing side of it. No one wants to compete. I still compete with the guys from around New Zealand. At the Nationals, I went to Dunedin last year with my wife and grandson, 2 grandsons, and came second in the over 60s. So next year I'll be 70, so I'll be able to go in the over 70s. I'll have much more chance. Because for one guy,
well done.
There was one guy from Gisborne, and his name was John Gisby. Funny how he was from Gisborne and his name was Gisby, but that was his real name. He beat me every time. Probably for 15 years he kept beating me. It was me, he was first, I was second. Crazy. And we had a real rivalry. I think we were New Zealand's oldest surfing rivalry. And then he's turned 70 now, so he surfs in the over 70s, and I'm still in the 60s group. So next year I'll be able to get him.
The rivalry's coming back.
Yeah. And it's funny, his son has moved to Tairua and is a chef at the Manaia.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is he a surfer?
Yeah. And I met him at the Sailor's Grave one day by accident, because I paddled out and this guy said, "Oh, how'd you go at the Nationals?" And he sort of pricked up and he said, "Oh, my old man goes to the Nationals." And I said, "What's his name?" And he goes, "John Gisby." And I go, "Oh my God." Straight away we had something in common, you know. Yes, we've got 3 generations
All surfing?
all surfing together, yeah.
Oh.
And that's...
About surf lifesaving, tell us about your involvement with that, Barry.
Well, I was always involved because we always went to the beach and we always went to the surf club area. So naturally just went there. And because I built the deck with the other guys, it was sort of our deck. Yeah, I was president of the club for probably 5 years, but we still do plenty of rescues. We probably still do more rescues than throughout the year than the club. You know, it's just that it's not recorded.
Do you want to say anything about the rescues?
Yeah, I could mention a rescue that I did once. I was out surfing and 2 people came out swimming. It was at the south end. This was just one of the rescues I'd done, and they looked like they were really in trouble. Like there was a couple, probably in their 30s, and he was in trouble. She was going under. I couldn't understand why they were swimming there because it was just a bad rip. It was a really bad rip. They had no idea. So I paddled over and got her on my board, and then just swam with her, beside her, to try and, because she couldn't float. So put her on the board and swam in with her. And one of the other guys brought the mail, and she was so stoked. She was like, "Oh, you're my guardian angel. You've saved me." You know, she knew she was on the way. She really did. But she hadn't taken too much water in, because I got her in the early stages. I knew straight away, as soon as they hopped in the water, things weren't going to be good. You know. So quite often we'll be out surfing and we'll just keep an eye on what's going on. You know, and you can straight away tell if somebody shouldn't be out there. You know, they just don't look right. And so you can sort of keep an eye on them, and quite often we'll just bring them into the shore, and then the clubbies will take over.
When you were given the surfboard on the wall?
Yeah, well, that was given to me on the deck. We had it because every time you wanted to go to the toilet, you had to go down to the other toilets to run our competitions at the deck. And so when that came out, all the younger guys decided to have a competition for me. And then so they gave me that. Everyone would buy their dozen of beer and head away to the party. This was going way back into the 70s, 80s.
Though, if you think about it, that is why we all knew each other in the community, because there would be 20-year-old people there, 60-year-old people there, and it was the only thing that there was to do in town. So, like all my dad's old friends, like Viv McNabb, who they're a very old family of town, everybody would be together, so everybody knew each other, because we didn't have the choices that you have now. So that was our community hangout place as such, wasn't it?
It's where you met everybody.
Yeah, no matter who you were.
You even got to know people that come here and with their batches
on their weekends, yeah.
Because they would go to the pub too, and you'd intermingle with them.
Yeah.
And it's just not the same now. Without that pub there, you've got...
No, because that was I
guess you've still got places like the bowling club and the golf club. I mean, I helped build the golf club back in the, gosh, when would that be, 80s? Yeah, back in the 80s. Brent Plender, who I worked for, got the contract to do it. Oh, he was a community man. He did a lot of stuff for the golf club. When Pacific Harbour was built, I built all all those units was me built them.
Oh, you built it for
Roger Turner.
Roger. Yeah.
I was the main person building all them, and so he built the big shell restaurant. And
So tell us all about Pacific Harbour from your perspective.
Roger kept me employed for many years. Every time he wanted another one built, he'd come to me and I would build one. It was empty land, there was nothing there, it was totally empty. And just slowly, just built one after the other over a period of probably 10 years, maybe. When my twin brother died, we had a Tairua Waihi Beach memorial for him. Rex Homan, because Peter Homan was the first guy that I surfed with in Tairua. His brother was an artist, and he made this for my twin brother, and he's got his name, and when he died, it was in a car accident. So we had this as a trophy for the Tairua Waihi Beach board riders. So we used to go down to Waihi and they used to come up to us.
Encouragement,
You know, I had
certainly, thanks for your expertise.
It was quite funny. When I had my 65th birthday party, it was like a retirement party here. I had a band and that. And one guy gets up on stage and he goes, "Now, everybody that's ever had any work done by me, please move forward." And everyone just stepped forward. And it was like, I'm looking around and going, "Yes, I've done that for that boy, go in. I've done that for that person. I built a house for him." And then another guy gets up and goes, "Now, everyone step forward who has been snaked or dropped in by me." You know what a drop-in is? It's when you take somebody else's wave.
Yeah.
And everyone stepped forward again.
Well, Barry, thank you for your participation. Certainly thank you for all that you've put into the community. There's been lots of surfers, I'm sure, that wouldn't be there without you and your encouragement.